Good Shabbos, everyone. Last week, I was driving, or really stuck in traffic on 610, and driving towards 59, and I saw something I couldn't believe that I saw. I had to take a double take. Maybe you've seen it. But I saw a huge billboard right there at 610 and 59 that said the following. The billboard said, "Can a billboard end anti-Semitism?" No, but you're not a billboard. Now, I couldn't believe it. Why would a billboard call it anti-Semitism in Houston, Texas? At the bottom of the billboard, there was a name of an organization called Jew Belong. So when I got back to my office on that drive, I looked up, what is Jew Belong? And let me tell you the description of what Jew Belong is. It's a website that provides outreach and information about Judaism in a down-to-earth, if not quirky way. The billboards are a good example of that messaging. And sure enough, Jew Belong, this organization, this website, has purchased hundreds of billboards across the United States in major cities from coast to coast. Houston has several now. In fact, Houston became the first city to have some billboards in Spanish. So what do these billboards say? Well, there's a bunch of them. There's about 4 right now in Houston. And here are what some of the billboards say, not only in Houston, but across the United States. I'm interested to hear what you think about these billboards. One says, "We're just 75 years from the gas chambers, so no, a billboard calling out Jew hate isn't an overreaction." Another one says, "Here's an idea. Let's ask everyone who's wondering if anti-Semitism is real to wear a yarmulke for a week and then report back." Another says, "Being woke and anti-Semitic is like being a vegan who eats veal." Another one says, "I promise to love being Jewish 10 times more than anyone hates me for it." Another says, "Does your church need security cameras? Because our synagogue does." Another says, "Chocolate hummus on an onion bagel isn't the hate crime we're currently worried about." That's probably the funniest one. And finally, the last one, another example. "You didn't like it when we didn't defend ourselves, and you don't like it when we do. Doesn't leave much wiggle room." So some may ask, "Rabbi, what do you think about these billboards?" Maybe you're wondering, and maybe you really don't care. But let me tell you what Rabbi Strauss thinks about these billboards. Now, I would understand arguments against the billboards. Some may say, come on, an anti-Semite's going to see the billboards and say, you know what, I'm not going to be anti-Semitic anymore. Or some may say, let's keep this to ourselves. Why get this out there? Why talk about anti-Semitism in the greater community? Just leave it alone. Let's fight it in the ways we know how. Why put billboards out there in cities like Houston and across the country, letting people know that anti-Semitism is a problem? I could understand both arguments against the billboards. But here's why I like the billboards, and I'm glad they're in Houston now. One, I think it creates awareness that anti-Semitism is an issue today. I think for most everyday Americans, they may not realize that anti-Semitism is up. They may have read about what the crazy Kanye West said. They may see some of the crazies out there, but I don't think a lot of people, the everyday average American, realizes some of the challenges today. And I still believe that that average American is a good person. I still thank God every day that I live in a country where an overwhelming majority of people are good everyday people who are not anti-Semitic. And if it brings awareness to those people that anti-Semitism is an issue, then I'm all for it. I also like these billboards for a second reason. I think these billboards create conversations about Judaism. Because on those billboards it says JewBelong.com. And if you go to that website, which I invite you to do after Shabbos, of course, And if you go to that website, you'll see not only does that website talk about anti-Semitism, it not only talks about the myths, the falsehoods that people mistakenly may think about our people, it also is a brilliant website because it talks about the beauty of Shabbat. It talks about Jewish holidays. It talks about Jewish history. It talks about Jewish values and Jewish wisdom. The things that you and I may take for granted, it takes it out and advertises it to the world. Not only to non-Jews who may know very little, if nothing, about Judaism, but even to our fellow Jewish brothers and sisters who may not have been in a synagogue in the last 5, 6, 7 years, who've forgotten everything about Judaism. It also allows them to learn more about their faith. I'm all for that. As a rabbi at a place like Beth Yeshurun, I have the honor often of speaking to the community who comes into the sanctuary or those watching online. But those billboards have a greater outreach. They speak to people that are driving on the highways of this city every single day. And if some of them go to that website and learn a little bit more positivity, a little bit more good news about our people, then I'm all for it. And I thank an organization like Jew Belong. You and I know about the great wisdom of our tradition. We may take it for granted sometimes, but you and I know about the great history of our people, of all the incredible contributions in the goodness that we Jews have brought to the world. We're far from perfect, but you and I know what a contribution our people have made to the world. And so if that can get out there in greater numbers, let's support an organization like Jew Belong. Go to their website, see what they're doing, and let that organization be a reminder to you and me to always be proud and stand up for our Judaism. We have nothing to hide, only beauty to share with the world. And let's join organizations like Jew Belong to continue to get that positive message about Judaism out there and our fight against anti-Semitism and our quest to make this world a better place. Good Shabbos, everyone.